All right, welcome to another Spinato spin. It's spin time here in the winter time, and this is right around the last time we'll be doing, no daylight savings time talk here. A little heads up on Sunday, we set the clocks ahead. So whatever daylight we have out there right now is going to be very, very more uh, available to us. All right, and what we want to talk about tonight is kind of the little things. You know, Vince Lombardi said it real clear. He said, "Gentlemen, this is a football. You want to be good at football, you got to practice every aspect of football that makes you good. And the first thing is the fundamentals." So the first thing you want to talk about really is, where are you getting your attitude? Where's all this coming from? Where's this positivity coming from? What are you drinking in? That's one word that John Wooden used a lot. He said, "Drink from good books every day." And I'll be, full disclosure here. I start my day, a little meditation, then I write my notes from the meditation, and I carry those notes around with me all day. It kind of keeps me on track of the thoughts I want to keep in my mind. And I thought if I always feel that if I'm thinking about it while I'm meditating, it's got to be something good. It's got to be something that I'm going to be probably using within, if not that day, the next day or the next week. Just keeping positive things in front of you. So you want to drink from the good books. You want to drink from good information. You also want to drink from people around you that are positive, energized, and ready to go. You know, a lot of that's your fault too. If you think about it, you say, "Well, I don't want to hang out with that person. That person's really..." Well, you got to give it your best shot to make that person feel as good as they can so they can give back to you what you want around you. It's funny. Positive self-talk goes a long way towards this because what you're doing is you're programming other people by what you're saying because that's what they're hearing. They're hearing something over and over. If it's something positive, you're going to get back a good sounding board. You're going to get people feeling better. I even noticed that too. I've been giving a lot of these talks. I give some talks, on Monday. And what happens is I start getting better feedback from people just based on who they are because they've been listening to what I've been saying. And that goes a long way. One of the most important things, you got to get nourishment too. And nourishment is, basically what happens when you start drinking from good books. But nourishment is something that'll sustain you, something that'll keep you going, something that'll make you feel like you got more, what do they call that? More style or more substance than style. In other words, you got something substantial behind what you're talking about, what you're all about. Give somebody a chance to explain who they are, what they want to get done, and then root for them. Make them feel good about that. Give them a wholesome, a friendly approach. Right now you choose to let nothing stop you or stand in your way. No problem or defeat is ever the end of the road for you. Roads don't stop, people do. So you make sure you keep your roads going. You keep moving, and so do you. These are all nice compliments you could say to somebody right off the top of your head just by practicing a little bit of self-talk. You will win. Why? I'll tell you why. Because you have faith, courage, and enthusiasm. See, that's all about you, but it's really all about them too, but it makes them feel good. You never know how much just a little information can trip the switch and get things going. I read this the other day. It makes a lot of sense. It said, "Have you ever noticed what happens with a student or a young child when they get a slight attitude adjustment towards what they're supposed to be doing? It's incredible. Anybody on a sports field too, the same thing. Just give them a little bit of a boost. I'm trying to teach myself how to swim. I can realize and understand that. Every time I go in the pool, I talk to somebody, one of the lifeguards, I ask for a couple tips on how to do stuff. And man, when they give you some good tips, some good information, you just feel better about what you're doing. You could do that for anybody. Keep yourself focused on that. We got another one up there. I don't have the screen. I don't have I'm like John Sterling here. We don't have a monitor here. But what exactly is on the screen now? I missed it. Well, grow. Yeah, we can always grow. Remember, folks, we live our lives on a hill, okay? We're either rolling back or we're going forward. We're never standing still. That's a good little poem if you want to remind yourself. You live your life on a hill. You're never going forward. You're never you're never standing still. You're always going to be moving. You always want to be moving. You always want to get better. We talked about that before. It's called kanai, constant, never-ending improvement. That's how you produce growth. You produce growth by trying hard as you can every time to get just a little bit better. I'm working on that with my swimming episodes there. I worked on that when I was doing, hard cardio every day. I always tried to get a little bit better. Just try to get a little bit better in anything you're doing. Try to get better at saying good morning to people. That could be a goal. That could be something you want to work on. Get better at saying a better good morning. Get better at saying something that really matters to you, so you can feel good about yourself. And the more you feel good about yourself, the more you can pass it on to others. That's where growth comes in. I talk about this a few times. How big does a tree grow? A tree grows as big as it can, doesn't it? A tree grows as big as it can. Well, how big does a human being grow? Well, in stature, it'll grow as much as it can physically, right? But then again, it could get stronger, could get more muscular, could get more, better cardiovascular system. They can always keep getting better and better. Growth is not, here's the old saying. I heard this before. It makes a lot of sense. Change is inevitable, but growth is optional. And that is a very powerful concept. Let's go to the next one. Planting. All right, here we are. I just talked about it at the outset. What season's coming up? Spring. What's spring good for? Planting. We know the 4 seasons of life, right? Planting. You got planting, cultivating, harvesting, and storing, right? Isn't that basically what life's all about? You got spring for planting, summer for cultivating, fall for harvest, and winter for storing. But you got to make sure you have a good harvest, otherwise you're not going to have much to store, right? You got to make sure you get yourself your ideas. And in the winter is when you plant those seeds in your mind. And then in the spring, you actually physically plant them. For instance, I talked about this, about Mike Sharp last week. Let's go over him again. Remember his story, over 100. How did it all work out for him? 30 years, 35 years in one business, he was able to amass $125. $125 million. What do you have, a popsicle stand? $125. No, $125 million in 30 to 35 years. The man was phenomenal. But the thing that got me was I saw a video of him after 10 years. And after 10 years, he was well on his way to where he wanted to go. And speaking about being well on our way to where we want to go, our time's just about up, and I am on my way. You are on your way. So I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great week. And thanks a lot for watching Spinato Spin. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.